Hey, this is Spew, and you're listening to Heavy Mental Breakdown.
Dude, Spew, welcome to the
All
show,
right,
man.
hey, good to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Good to have you. Good to have you. We were talking a little bit before the interview started, and I was telling you, we've been connected on Instagram for a while now, and the algorithm. I see you often on my feed, and I think it's because I often stop and watch what you're doing, and then I just continue what I'm doing. But like,
Sure.
whenever I see your clips, you guys just look like you're having fun, man. Like you guys are just talking rock and roll and having fun. Tell my audience a little bit about what you do on your platform.
Sure, yeah, I have what I like to refer to more as a show than anything else. It
Okay,
is a
show.
podcast by today's standards, but I like to
Yeah,
think of it as a show. That's just what I keep in my head, and it makes me happy to say that to myself.
it is a
Um,
show. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and I really kind of modeled it off the back of old Headbangers Ball from the 90s. So
Headbangers Ball.
yeah, yeah. So I have bands on, and they come and they sit down, and really it was just because, they're. If you look at every other major genre, there is a destination for people to go. Rap has plenty of them. There's several for country. I'm sure there's some for electronic music, but
Yeah.
there just really wasn't something for metal. Now, there's the Garza podcast on the West Coast, but I think that resembles a lot more closely the modern day podcast. It's got like the
Mm,
arms and everything for the
yeah.
microphones,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
pretty tight shots and everything, and it's wonderful. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to do something different, so I have bands come in here. But not only that, also people connected with the scene as well. So,
Sure.
show promoters, photographers, venue owners, the people that print T-shirts, things like
Oh
that.
hell
So,
yeah.
so yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say probably about 70% of it is bands, and then the remainder are people that really kind of work the mechanics of it all. So.
Yeah. So what's kind of like your common theme, in your interview style? Like when someone comes on, like, do you write a list of questions depending on who they are, or is it kind of just an open conversation kind of show?
No, I really do try to stick to a traditional interview format. I feel like the bands deserve it. The
Mm,
conversations are great. I've been involved with some conversational podcasts before, but I just want to be at the service of the band as fully as I can.
mm.
So when they come in, yes, I have questions for them, and not only that. I at the turn of the year, I said I want to try and shift my line of questions less from the discography and the
Right.
most recent output and
Yeah.
try to dig a little bit deeper. And the reason for that is because I noticed something. I noticed it with a lot of metal interviews in general over the last 15 years, we'll be fair. The questions revolve heavily around the music. What have you been doing lately? What are we going to hear tonight? That type of thing.
Yeah.
If you contrast that to a lot of major artists, the biggies in the world, the Taylor Swifts, the Lady Gagas, the Mumford and Sons, things like that, the questions have to do with what's going on inside, and maybe not always,
Mm.
um, you know, your lane, like what's going on up here and everything, but you watch some of those biggies answer these questions, and they really are afforded the opportunity to just spill, And I felt bad because I mean, artists in general are emotional people. They're
Yeah.
deep people and stuff, and it's like I just didn't see that being offered to a lot of metal musicians. So I said, I want to give them the chance. I mean, they wrote these songs, and I mean, the truth of the matter is, you can really only express so much in a song. I mean,
Right.
people will talk up and down about how music's my expression, music's my outlet. Sure, right? But you got to work with rhythms and melodies and stuff like that in order to get out what you want to get out. So I wanted to make sure that everybody that came through here always has the opportunity to be as open as they like, to go as
Mm.
deep as they like. And so, yeah, that's kind of the approach I'm taking at the moment.
Yeah. Earlier you had mentioned Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what that is, what is that?
Sure. Okay, man, we're getting to that or I'm getting to that point
Yeah.
in my
No, 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 no.
Headbangers Ball was a TV show years ago on MTV, which is, I understand, they shut down a lot of their operations. So maybe the better
Yeah.
question now is, what was MTV? A music channel, a channel on TV dedicated for a while to music
Hmm.
videos. And there was a weekly show that was just dedicated more specifically to heavy metal videos. And the set was cool, and the hosts were always cool and stuff. So I reached a point where I was like, well, nobody's telling me I can't, do that. I can't create that and everything. And so that was,
Yeah. Mm.
recreate, I should say. And here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, here we are. And how times have changed since then, my friend. I
Oh,
remember and I was born 1990, so I kind of got the tail end of the Headbangers Ball era. Like I was about 8 years old, approaching, 2000, and by that time it was gone by then, right? It was gone before 2000.
It was, and then it was revived with Jamie Josta from Hatebreed. I think I want to say around 2006 or seven
Oh,
was
okay.
when they brought it, and he did a great job. He did an
Yeah.
excellent, excellent job. Like,
Okay. Yeah, no, that was I grew up on MTV, just staying up till like midnight, 1 o'clock in the
sure,
morning, just watching all the music videos and the reruns of TRL and
cool.
all
And
the
it wasn't. And there were
yeah.
others too. There were smaller ones. There was Power 30, which I think broadcast out of
Mm,
Chicago, if
Power
I'm not
30.
mistaken. And yeah, there were like a few others that didn't, have the exposure that MTV did and everything. But those were awesome too, though. So
Yeah.
it was just it's the a show about heavy metal featuring bands and why not?
Yeah. Okay, so you talk about going a little deeper on your podcast. I kind of want to do that with you for a second.
Sure, sure.
Um so you had said you started this and part of it was inspired by Headbangers Ball, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And you were saying that there wasn't really an outlet for people to have these conversations and you wanted to create one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Why did you want to create one besides just you didn't see enough of it? What made you be like, I want to tackle a show and do it the way that I want to do it?
Sure.
What was that like internal emotional push to do that? Because whenever you start something like this, there has to be that passion, something ignites it.
Sure.
So what was that for you?
The word is probably a bit extreme, but I'm gonna have to use heartbreak. Not
Mm,
having to do with me. The sort of seeds started to form when I was off. Okay, I saw projects that were being announced in the heavy metal world, and they were a big deal. Okay, and it just didn't seem like they were getting the coverage that I thought they deserved. So
mm,
I started back when my channel on YouTube was just like talking head kind of stuff. I started just reviewing the music and talking about how it's why it's such a big deal that Rick Hunold from Exodus is now doing a band that's avant-garde. I couldn't believe it. He and the original drummer of Typo Negative were going to join ranks, and they did. And I'm just like, that's really big. And then a couple months after that, there's this. They were called I Am at the time, but it was members of two members of Typo Negative, and then a couple members of Crowbar and Down, and it was kind of the same thing. It
mhm.
was like that is a very big deal in heavy metal, and why isn't it getting the attention it deserved? What it did get were a plethora of smaller interviews, right? And I just said that these people that have given me so much over the years, deserve more than that. So really the first step to I think making myself feel better about this, like maybe I was contributing in some way, was when their publicist at the time reached out to me from IM and was like, "Hey, we've seen your reviews on YouTube. That's really cool. do you want to interview the band? We'll send you like a Zoom link. And I'm like, no.
Nice.
I'm like,
Oh,
I will come to you and interview you. I'm like, how about that?
wherever you need me to go, I'll book a flight.
And that's exactly what I said. And the destination happened to be New Orleans.
Cool.
So it was just realizing that, I thought about this. I was like, okay, Todd Strange, for example, is in this band. They're called Sun Don't Shine now. And I'm like, I remember specifically when I was, I think, 13 years old, opening the Down NOLA CD, not knowing who Todd Strange was, but thinking like, damn, that guy is cool,
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it just, I saw these artists that have given me so much, and I just didn't feel like in this new era we're in, they were getting back what they deserve, because I kind of have this weird thought. I only apply it to myself, but you buy a CD. 20 nobody really buys CDs anymore, but at one point you did. And you listen to it, it's there at the best times, good times, worst times, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like I'm like, all right, I've gotten my money's worth. Now I kind of owe them again. So
Yeah.
it was wanting to give back.
Yeah. I feel like both our shows were coming from the same kind of place. So
Cool.
I'll tell you my little story about how
Yeah.
I got started and why I wanted to start it. So I went through a really rough time about 4 years ago. I almost wasn't here anymore. So, I'll put it that way. And it was music that got me through it. And
Wow.
more specifically, it was the lyrics, because I felt like if I can connect to this song in this way, it makes me feel like I'm not alone in this.
Okay.
Like I had my music, and that was kind of like what was keeping me alive, man. Keeping me alive. All my favorite songs, my favorite music, and then at that moment when that was happening, I realized just the significance of the words that you put out in your music. I've always been like a huge fan of lyrics. Like, you talk about CDs, you used to buy them and rip open the booklets, and I was
Sure.
like reading the lyrics along with the song, and it was cool because it was like the first time I had heard that song. So I'm like, okay, let me study this. Let me study this. It's not that fun anymore. You know what I mean? Like, they have the lyrics on like Spotify. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not the same feeling. Anyway, so once I realized the power of lyrics and how it's life changing, because it changed mine, life saving, actually, life saving, like it did with mine. I was like, you know what? I don't think artists get as much credit as they should for their lyrics. And not like, because I feel like a lot of times the lyrics are overlooked by amazing drummers or guitar solos and
Sure.
the screams. But like, when you really, really dive into the root of those lyrics and why they were written, the way they were, and when they were, dude, we got some crazy stories coming on.
I got to be honest with you. I've never had that perspective before until you just said it right now. I won't lie. That was a little bit
Yeah.
of an eye opener for me. It was,
Mm,
honest to God.
yeah. And like music has always been a part of my life. Like, I play guitar, I play drums sometimes, I play bass, but like I didn't really realize how life-saving it could be. And when you really like think about songs and people who have that impact, I automatically go to, especially my generation, Chester Bennington,
Okay.
Chris Cornell, the voices of a generation. And you can hear the reason why Soundgarden is so awesome, the reason why early Linkin Park was so good, because you can hear the pain in their voices. And I wanted to figure out what that pain was.
Wow. That's a bold undertaking right there.
Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah. So
Really is.
artists come on the show. We listen to their song together. I intentionally ask them early what song, so I don't listen to it. So it's a really raw reaction with them, and then I dive into the lyrics as I can see it relating to me, and then they tell me what it's actually about, and we realize just the power of music.
And I think that's really cool too, because I mean, a lot of times, you can't understand, depending on what you're listening to, what style of band it is. You may have a very hard time understanding the lyrics,
Yeah,
or, or
yeah.
or you may hear them and you find out that's actually not what they're saying.
Right,
They're
right,
saying
right.
something else. So,
But that's what I'm talking about too. Like somebody can be screaming something out and not understanding what they're saying, so the lyrics kind of get overlooked. They just like the way it sounds, but like no, don't overlook the lyrics. To me, that's the heart of the song. Let's learn what the song's about.
now, let me ask
I don't
you
know.
this, because now you got me thinking about it. I
Okay,
just
okay.
happen to have this shirt on right here. Terrible band name and everything, but I love them. But I hate God. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
you may find this interesting. Have you listened to them much?
I mean, they've come across playlists, but like they're not really a band that I put on often.
Okay, okay. Yeah, there are a lot of spots that you cannot tell what Mike's singing, right? And yeah, you might find this interesting, right? There was an experiment that I ran on my own last year, and
Hmm.
I was going through a very difficult time too because I wasn't working. It was very hard to find a job at the time, and like behind on bills, and I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to do this crazy concrete spew thing here and everything. So it was difficult. But I hear people often talking about how sure I hate God specifically, or other kind of like darker sounding bands, and they say like, oh, it got me through it. And I kind of thought I was like, I don't see how that's possible. I mean, like, I love the band, but I don't know if now is the best time for me to be really going deep into I Hate God's discography. So I said
Sure.
I want to listen to other like Death Doom, just like I Hate God, Death Sludge, and everything, and I'm gonna listen to it for a long time. I think I did it for like 2 weeks, like nothing but.
Hmm.
And it was very strange the effect that it had because I found out that I was not actually more depressed as a result. In a weird way, it was kind of soothing. And then I found out why. It was because I learned that other people were going through difficulties
Hmm.
just like I was. So it
Hmm.
was it was comforting in a way. It's just
Yeah.
crazy how that kind of thing works.
Yeah. And I think that that's why music and maybe rock specifically, it's a movement, it's a community because we all kind of get each other. And like,
Yeah.
we love Chester because we can understand what he's going through something in us. That's what we love about Chris, and it's just yeah. Yeah,
But I mean,
and I think subconsciously it's a thing too because you're listening to it, you're singing along, but you're singing along and you're vibing with it. But sometimes you don't even know what you're singing. Like
sure.
you're singing the lyrics, but you don't know what those lyrics mean.
Sure, sure. I
Yeah.
know. I agree with that. I
Ugh.
agree. And I mean, like maybe it's a testament to the Chester Bennington's, I don't know, ability to reach people and stuff. Because I don't. I know the famous song they have. That's it. But I do know when I hear it, you hear someone that's obviously singing very deeply and everything. Plus, how many other people love him or loved him, and love Linkin Park and everything. So it's like, yeah, he's really putting a lot into it. I mean, I know
Yeah.
Soundgarden a lot more than Linkin Park, and I would agree. Same thing with Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
It's like ultimately it's very sad, but a lesson for all of us, I guess.
And I think it's that kind of stuff that makes legends. Like you can listen to bands and be like, "Oh, this band sounds better," but it's what impact are they having on their fans' lives? And I think that's what creates these legends, like Chester and Chris and anybody else.
No, I completely
Yeah.
agree because anybody could
Mm.
anybody saying that you got, you know what, I can give you a good comparison, right? Something that I can I can parallel that to the band Hatebreed,
Mm.
right? I would say that yeah, I've leaned on Hatebreed before, in difficult times and everything for inspiration, probably the same way you and many others have with Chester Bennington. So yeah, I I
Yeah.
I, I get
You
it.
get it. You get it. Well, Spew. Let's change the topic a little bit. So you're out in Richmond, Virginia, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So I'm going to be in Richmond, Virginia sorry, on the weekend of March 14th. My podcast is sponsoring a show out there.
Oh.
Well, you happen to be out of town, huh? You happen to not be here on March 14th. Oh, well, what a coincidence.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, going down to New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're going back. You're
Well, I'll be
going back
back
to
on the
New
15th,
Orleans.
though.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I've been interviewing a lot of bands from Richmond, Virginia, and I didn't know how much of the music community was growing out in Richmond.
It
I had no
is.
idea, man.
No, neither did I. And actually, so I'm in Metro Richmond. I'm in Fredericksburg, so it's a little bit of a hike, but nothing terrible.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, that makes two of us. It really truly does. And the only reason I know about it is because 2 years ago, early 24, I had some friends that I originally grew up in New Hampshire, and I spent a
Mm.
good bulk of my life there. And some friends playing a band, and they came down here. They were just on tour. So I went to see them, and I met the promoter that night. And the promoter and I just, Bobby from Rival Booking. And we just
I've heard of
hit it
him.
off.
I've heard that name around.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, he does so much. I promise you that a lot of what you were probably just describing there, and your like amazement with the just the the vibrancy and the life in the scene
Yeah.
is very directly related to Bobby and Scum City and 804 Underground. I call them the three families.
Mm.
But Bobby's he's so damn instrumental for the scene here. But yes, I found that out too, and tons of bands. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
It's
like
true.
I know like a few of like the big bands that came out of there, like Lamb of God is one of them. But yeah, I had no clue that it was popping so much. Some of my friends who are in bands here in New York, they recently went down there for a show at a place called Banditos.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they were
totally.
playing there, and that was the best crowd on their set,
Oh really?
on their tour. Yeah, it was only four dates in four cities, but I mean, I was shocked by it.
What band was it?
A band called Boar and another
Oh, I've
one
heard of
called
them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Toothless.
Okay, yeah. Wait, was the I've seen that flyer. Maybe that's what I'm referencing in my head. Maybe that's what I'm referencing. And
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure Bobby probably put that show on.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to be back at at Banditos in like later this month or next month because they
Oh,
had
good.
such a good time there. They're going back.
Oh, it's a great venue. As long as it's not on the 14th, I got no reason not to go.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I have no clue what it is. I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Please do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So stepping away from what you do on your show, what has music meant to you in your life? Like how has it helped get you through just everyday stuff, whether it's going to work or relationships? I know you said you listened to a little bit of Hatebreed to get you through it. You talked about a little bit of depression. But like on a bigger level, what has music done for your life?
I mean, I don't wouldn't say that it's my experience with it has been much different than the average person's. Everybody's got music as a soundtrack, whether, you're driving in the car, whether you're, going out for a jog or something like that. So it's always there. But I think that it becomes more important, at least for me, during the times when I don't have everything at my disposal to lean on to get me
Hmm.
through, I don't know, yeah, depression or times of doubt or something like that. And that is when, yeah, it goes back to like Hatebreed and stuff. um
Great choice,
but
by the way.
sure, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, terrific choice. But I mean, I also will say too, though, that definitely when I was younger, right, there were probably some bands that I should not have listened to while I was still trying to get
Yeah.
to know the world and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's powerful. It's
Yeah.
really powerful. I mean, and the lyrics. It's the lyrics. it's the lyrics that can have an influence for, the good or the bad. And I think sometimes bad can be disguised as good. And I'll cite myself as an
Mm.
example. I was in high school knowing that the college was around the corner. I was expected to go to college and everything, but I was really into the hardcore scene, and I loved the band Blood for Blood. Blood for Blood is one of the most nihilistic, just negative hardcore bands out there. But I mean, they
Most
were
negative.
totally, totally. But I mean, very sadly, they themselves were all victims of hardship and misfortune growing up and everything. So good for them. They found
That
an
was their
outlet.
outlet. Yep, yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep. That was their outlet to get it
yeah.
out.
Exactly, exactly. That was their outlet, and they have helped countless people out there.
Yeah.
But for me though, I mean, I liked the music, but then when I really kind of started paying attention to lyrics, it had an effect on me.
Yeah.
It did, and probably for the worst at the time. But again, that's okay though. That's all right.
It's
Um,
what makes us who we are today, and with music choices from today. I mean, I relate the same way, but in rap. I my first earliest my favorite genre growing up was rap. My dad had a bunch of rap CDs. He would play like Snoop and Dre often. I'm like, that's
sure,
cool.
yeah.
But they didn't let me listen to most of it. So like when they would go to bed at night, I would go through my dad's CD album and listen to all the parental advisory
Yeah.
CDs that I wanted to. I took my Walkman with me and I laid in bed. I'm just like, you'll never know. You'll never know. But I think the artist that had the biggest influence on me was Eminem growing up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Listening to his early stuff when I'm like 9, 10 years old. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what that did to me.
Yeah.
But
It's funny you bring up the music like that. Like, I mean, it's weird. I know Eminem's later catalog more than I know like the first album, but
oh,
I
interesting.
have heard
Okay.
it,
Yeah.
and I know there's some songs on there that if I was a kid, I might be like, "Wow, what is he talking about?"
Yeah, pretty much every song. Yeah.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. For me, if there was music that maybe scared me, let's say, that was certain metal bands. I
Okay.
mean, I'll never forget the first time I heard the Danzig 4 album. There's a hidden track on the end of it. It is the scariest goddamn thing you've ever heard. To this day, I still, it's this organ kind of real dark, scary type of thing. Like, some stuff like that. But no, I mean, no, I grew up and stuff, and now I love the hell out of Danzig. One of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
bands ever and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, I saw the original Misfits a couple years back
I never
because
got to see them.
they were doing those rounds for a while.
Oh,
So I got to see them, and man, that was a
lucky.
show. That was
I
a show.
bet. Oh,
Yeah, it
and
was
you
a
know
lot
what I
of
thought
fun.
was so cool about it is that like because I've only seen the pictures and the video footage and everything. Like, they really didn't need to bring a visual package with them for their stage and their rigging and everything. Like,
Mm.
but it looks like they did, and I thought that's awesome. 'Cause they
Yeah.
never did that back in the day. I mean, even with Michael Graves and stuff, there wasn't much of like
Hmm.
a big theatrical production, but must have been awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty massive. It was, I think it was. There's so many festivals right now, so I'm blanking on the name, but it's in Sacramento every year, towards the end of the year.
Not was it
Um,
Riot Fest.
no,
Fire
Riot
Sound.
Fest is in Chicago, I think.
Was it
Uh,
Coachella? Did Misfits play Coachella one year?
I don't think they would.
Bonnaroo, maybe Bonnaroo. One of
I don't
those.
know. Anyway, but it was 2019 when I went out there to go. I flew out there to go see them,
Oh,
and it was a great night. And it was also when Mudvayne was making their return too.
oh wow, okay.
So, I got to see some legends there as well. So speaking of festivals and shows, how are you still going to a bunch of shows these days? Like, are you a festival guy? Like, are you camping out? Like, what's your connection with actual live music and festivals these days?
Yeah, sure. And that's really funny you use the word festival, because if not for my attendance in 21 at the Psycho Las Vegas Festival, anybody that I guess like follows me, like I brought that up so many times. Like, God damn it, he's talking about that freaking Psycho Festival again. That was really the major kind of catalyst that got me back into metal as like the live function and everything.
Mm.
Reason for that is because for probably about 10 or so years prior to Psycho Fest, yeah, that's from 2011. Yeah, I wasn't going to a ton of shows. No reason in particular. It's just, life getting in the way, things happen. I mean, I would still go to see the biggies. Kiss, Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses. I was going to those. I
Yeah.
might not go to see I might not go to see Exodus, or I might not have gone to see I Hate God or something like that. So just like the quote unquote smaller bands, I might not have been as motivated to.
Sure.
One spring of 2021 rolls around, and if you remember, the year before that, the whole world was locked down.
Hmm.
But very slowly, the world started opening back up, and Las Vegas was one of the first major cities to let people
Right.
travel and everything.
Right. Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I said, I mean, it's springtime. I was like, you know what? I want to do something this summer, like just something. Last year was such a bummer and everything. So I said, I've never been to a tropical island before. I'm hearing good things about St. Thomas. I'm going to go there. I'm going to book a flight. That day, the lineup got announced for Psycho, and it was just too good to ignore. I mean, so many bands in one weekend, and I'm like, I'm there often enough. I got family out there. I'm like, this will be fun to go to. And I was prepared for okay. So growing up in New England, the scene it was a hostile place. All right, I feel bad saying that, but it really truly was.
Sure.
If you ask anybody from New Hampshire or Massachusetts, north, south, west, eastern Massachusetts, and every western Massachusetts rather, no eastern, they will tell you the hardcore scene. Not only was it full of like fighting and stuff like that. Excuse me. Not only was it full of fighting, because there's moshing and stuff, so there's gonna be violence.
Yeah.
There was just something about it that I'm not proud to say, but I was witness to some sad stuff, people being humiliated and everything.
Mm.
And that was my introduction to the hardcore scene, right? So I just believed that, like,
Mm.
that
There
is
was a
how.
stigma that you took with you on
Yes.
everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
So I bought a ticket for Psycho Fest, and I said, I'm going for the bands. It's going to be a great time and everything. But that's it. And I was so blown away by the niceness of people. I
Hmm.
couldn't believe how just warm and nice people were. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't think it was like this. So I had to continue the experiment. When I got back that weekend, I said, I'm gonna go. Like, Obituary was playing not long after that in Richmond. I'm like, I'm going to see Obituary, right? Obituary, Municipal Waste, a couple other bands. I'm like, I'm going to that show. And it was the same experience. It was like, because I was a little bit unsure. I was like, might it have been that people were nicer just because they were just grateful to be around each other and everything.
Mm. Yeah.
So after a couple months of going to shows again, I really, it made me miss just the live setting.
Yeah. There's nothing
That
like it.
No, there really isn't. And that turned into me wanting to be more involved, more than just like, on Reddit or something like that. So I started a YouTube channel and then went from there and stuff. But I'm a lot more active, at least in going to Richmond shows and stuff like that lately.
Hmm.
But the truth of the matter is, editing these episodes takes a long time and stuff. So I don't get to
Yeah,
go to
they
as
do.
many as yeah, yeah.
You get it. You get it.
You know how it is too. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So, I guess my final question for you, is so what's the future for you and your show? Like, where are you hoping that this goes long term? If you can see it in like 5 years from now, and what do you hope that you're able to do with your show?
Sure, I would just like to be able to get everyone in here that I feel would enjoy it,
Mhm.
and whether that's a big artist, whether it's local artists and stuff like that. Like, that's it. I get a lot out of hearing these people answer questions that they may not ordinarily be asked, and that's really like the juice for me. So I would just like to continue offering a place for these bands to come and just take a load off and everything. And I
Yeah.
understand like it's hard because if a band plays Richmond, they may not necessarily want to make the trek. It's really not that bad, to Fredericksburg and everything. But
Mm.
it's here. If they got an off date or something like that or whatever, like it's here. So
Mm.
I don't know if I can think of a ton of change, other than just accommodating for the bands and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you and I think we're very similar in a couple different ways.
It seems like it.
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to call out that I thought was really cool. You're talking about some of your influences, and I'm talking about mine. And obviously, we're from different generations. Like but we still get each other. You know what I mean? It
Yes.
doesn't matter if it's from this time era or that time era. We're starting to realize one of the reasons we love rock and roll so much. It's because of how much it actually brings us together, and it shows that we are more similar than we are different. And I think
Yes.
that's a big problem in the world today, is picking sides and this and that. Like, no. We all love music. What are we doing here?
Could not agree more. Oh, and you know what? I
Yeah.
have to thank you as well. Because a matter of fact, Vertlost came through here recently.
Oh, hell yeah!
Oh God, yes.
Those are the homies. That's the
Oh.
show that I'm going out to on the 14th to help sponsor. It's our album release show.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, so
No, you just happen to be out of town on that weekend.
They told me about that show when they came by, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's it. Have you been to that? Oh, you haven't been to the venue yet, to Odin's, where?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, so I haven't either, right? But from what I understand, it is one of the coolest like hidden gems around here.
Yeah,
And
I'm hearing that.
yes, and it's perfect for a band like Bertlos. But they told me about that show that night, and that was all like the day they came. And it was all about it, only to leave here the day after. I remember it's like, oh shit, I'm going to be down in New Orleans with another band that day. So like my heart is broken because I wanted to see them, and at Odin's too. So damn bad. So yeah.
Do you ever make your way up to New York?
I haven't in a while. I mean, my whole family is from Yonkers.
Okay,
So
okay.
when I grew up, we would go to the city a lot. Yonkers is like right outside the city.
Hmm.
And I was traveling back up to New Hampshire a lot when I first moved here, just to see friends and stuff like that. But I haven't, every now and then I would pass through the city just for the hell of it and everything, but I haven't been up there. But this friggin' channel thing it's taking me down to New Orleans, next month
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Mine's taking me out to Richmond, and
nice. Yeah, there you go.
yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, the reason why I asked that is I am throwing my first annual festival in May
Nice.
for Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm bringing on bands who I've interviewed on here, who I've connected really well with, and I think we just locked in the lineup today. Actually, we have 11 bands playing.
Awesome.
And a lot of them are traveling from out of state to play it. We have bands from Ohio, from Salem, Massachusetts, from Boston as well, Richmond, New Jersey, and Vertlos is on the lineup.
Oh, that's in May?
Yeah, it's May up here in Brooklyn, May 30th.
God, I need to see. It's not one of those things where it's like I need to see them. I want to see them because
Yeah.
I love them. As soon as I discovered them, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a night of mental health related topics and music, and it's a benefit show. I can't announce who the benefit is for yet, but it's a benefit show, and I have a comedian even doing a set. Keep the laughters up because she's heavily like involved in the punk scene and metal scene out here in New York.
Awesome.
So she's gonna come do a comedy set. Like, it's gonna be so much fun, man. It's gonna be so much fun. If you happen to be around, if your show brings you up to New York by any chance on May 30th, you're welcome to the show.
Okay, all right. May 30th. I don't have my schedule in front of me now and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, no pressures, no worries. Just wanted to tell you about it, and it's gonna be a
Oh,
fun
that
night.
sounds like so much in advance. Both good for you and
Thank,
congratulations. That's
thank you,
enormous.
thank you. Yeah, it's I've never thrown even a, I've never even booked a band for a show in my life, and now I'm taking this
Wow.
huge thing. I booked the venue, I reached out to all the bands, and now I have them all in a group chat. We're all hanging out and talking about it, and they would have never known about these bands from other states because I love bringing on indie artists. Like
Okay.
I definitely do hope to still talking about my where I hope it goes. I want to reach bigger bands, and the reason for that is they have a huge audience of people, and the main point of this podcast is to get that relationship of mental health and this community together. So I want it to reach as many people as possible, but I am finding in these small communities that the smaller bands on like the local levels, how much they appreciate me asking them their story. Because a
That's
lot of
great.
these bands never even, people, yeah, they'll have fans and they'll play shows, but like there's not really too much of platforms for local smaller bands to come on and tell their story and play their music. And so,
And their stories are just as important
right,
as
absolutely.
others.
Yeah. Yeah, and now I've built, these amazing relationships, and now I have all these bands at my disposal. I think that's the right word. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, and so I've made so many great relationships with them. So I'm like, hey guys, you want to come out and do this benefit show in Brooklyn? And
That's
we got a full
awesome.
lineup. We got an all day festival. It's gonna
Oh,
be
that
fun.
is so damn cool.
Thanks,
So
man.
damn
And
cool.
I want it to be a traveling festival because I'm interviewing a bunch of bands from Richmond, from Philly, um, the Boston area, Chicago, Los Angeles. So like, I really hope to be able to like do these for it to be a traveling festival one day.
So do I. So do I. Hearing you say that, I hope it does too.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I just wanted to get the word out on mental health, and I never, as I've gotten so like tight knit with this local community, I never want people to think that I'm selling out or anything. If I start like going to bigger, I guess that's a little bit of a worry for me. But it's just like my ultimate goal is just to get the word out. And
Well,
that's it.
no, I think it's great, and I also think it's good that you're not afraid to touch bigger bands too, because I mean, after all, they're still people, and I think maybe the assumption is that bigger bands they got all these people around them to they have unlimited resource in terms of who they can talk to and who they can lean on and everything. Maybe not though,
Um,
the
maybe
Lincoln
not
Park
though.
guy didn't. I
Yeah.
mean, that
Mhm.
type of thing. So no, I think it's
Yeah.
good that you're not discriminating between small, big, or anything like that. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Because
fantastic.
even if I do start getting bigger bands, like I still want to interview the local bands,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that would be
yeah.
huge for them too. Like a platform where you can see like Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and then like a local band from Richmond.
Yeah,
You see them on the same like episode list. Like that'd be awesome.
it's completely true. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I love it. Spew, thank you for hanging out for me for an hour, man. I appreciate it. Whenever I see your stuff, like I said, it always looks like it's a good time and fun. So I hope to be able to roll up to your space at one point and
I
talk.
would I would love to have you. I would love to have you, and it's such a loss that the 14th for me is going to be elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yes, we will
It
make
won't
that
be my
happen.
last time. If there's this many great artists and this scene's blowing up that this much, I will be in Richmond more often.
Yes, please come. Please
Yeah.
come. We'll
Cool.
take care of you here.
All right. Well, my friend, you're doing something great, and it's
Likewise.
probably doing a lot better. It's doing a lot more than you can know. These
Ah,
artists being able to have these spaces, it means so much to them. So, I respect you. Thank you for coming on the show, and let's keep building this community, huh?
sounds good.